This is the story of the most feared boxer who became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. But behind the knockouts was a life few people truly understand. This is the story of the most feared boxer who became the youngest heavyweight champion in history. But behind the knockouts was a life few people truly understand. Millions of fans remember Mike Tyson as an unstoppable force, a fighter who could end a championship fight in less than a minute. His speed, power, and intimidating presence made even the greatest opponents question themselves before the opening bell. Tyson's story is far more than a collection of brutal knockouts. It is a story of poverty, loss, incredible success, shocking mistakes, and painful redemption. Every victory brought him closer to greatness, while every setback pushed him toward the darkest moments of his life. How did a troubled kid from Brooklyn become the most feared man in boxing? And how did the same man lose almost everything he had worked for? By the end of this video, you'll discover the incredible journey that turned Mike Tyson into one of the most unforgettable figures in sports history. Before Mike Tyson became the most feared boxer on the planet, he was just another kid trying to survive the streets of Brooklyn. Right now, you're looking at photos of the neighborhood where his story began. Brownsville wasn't a place where dreams came true. It was a place where every day could become a fight for survival. Crime, violence, gangs, and poverty surrounded Tyson from the moment he was born in 1966. As a child, Mike wasn't the fearless fighter the world would later know. In fact, he was shy, quiet, and often bullied by other kids. Many people saw him as an easy target, but every insult and every beating slowly built something inside him, a growing anger that would one day explode inside a boxing ring. Tyson often found comfort in raising pigeons. They were one of the few things that brought him peace, but one heartbreaking moment changed him forever. According to Tyson's own recollections, an older boy grabbed one of his pigeons and killed it in front of him. For Mike, it wasn't just the loss of a bird, it was the moment he realized that kindness alone wouldn't protect him. From that day forward, fighting became more than self-defense. It became his way of surviving in a world that showed him very little mercy. No one in those streets could have imagined that this frightened teenager would one day become the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history. Now you're watching one of the most important moments in Mike Tyson's life. This is the man who changed everything, Cus D'Amato. By the time Mike met Cus, he was already heading down a dangerous path. He had been arrested dozens of times as a teenager, spent time in juvenile detention, and many people believed he would either end up in prison or become another forgotten kid from Brooklyn. But Cus D'Amato saw something that no one else could see. He didn't just notice Mike's incredible strength. He recognized his fear, his anger, and his untapped potential. While everyone else saw a troubled teenager, Cus saw a future heavyweight champion. D'Amato welcomed Mike into his home, becoming much more than a boxing coach. He became a father figure, a mentor, and the first person who truly believed in him. Under Cus's guidance, Tyson learned that boxing wasn't just about throwing punches. It was about discipline, intelligence, timing, and controlling fear. Cus often reminded Mike that fear is something every fighter feels. The difference between champions and everyone else is learning how to control it instead of letting it control you. Those lessons would shape Tyson's mindset for the rest of his career. As the months passed, the shy teenager from Brooklyn transformed into one of the most dangerous young boxers in America. The foundation of a future legend was finally being built. Neither of them knew it yet, but together they were about to change boxing history forever. Now you're watching the beginning of Mike Tyson's professional career. It didn't take long for the boxing world to realize that someone extraordinary had arrived. Mike made his professional debut in March 1985, and almost immediately, his opponents found themselves facing something they had never experienced before. Tyson wasn't just winning fights, he was destroying experienced boxers in spectacular fashion. His explosive style shocked both fans and experts. He moved like a lightweight, but punched like a true heavyweight. Every combination came with incredible speed, precision, and devastating power. Most of his opponents barely had time to understand what was happening before the fight was over. Take a look at these early knockout highlights. They weren't simply victories, they were warnings. With every fight, Tyson's confidence grew, while fear spread throughout the heavyweight division. Promoters wanted him on every card, television networks couldn't stop talking about him, and veteran fighters were already paying close attention. What made Tyson even more dangerous was his discipline. Under Cus D'Amato's guidance, he trained relentlessly, refining the peekaboo style until it became one of the most effective fighting systems in boxing history. Every movement had a purpose. Every punch was carefully planned. By the end of his first professional year, Mike Tyson had built an incredible winning streak, with the vast majority of his victories coming by knockout. The message was becoming impossible to ignore. A new force had entered heavyweight boxing, and this was only the beginning. Standing in front of him was the man who held the heavyweight championship of the world. Now you're watching the fight that changed boxing history forever. On November 22nd, 1986, 20-year-old Mike Tyson stepped into the ring against WBC heavyweight champion Trevor Berbick. It wasn't just another title fight. It was a chance for Tyson to prove that all the hype surrounding his name was real. From the opening bell, Tyson fought with incredible intensity. His head movement made him difficult to hit, while his explosive combinations left Berbick with almost no time to react. Every punch carried the power to end the fight instantly. Take a close look at these moments. You can actually see the confidence draining from the champion with every passing round. Tyson wasn't simply winning, he was completely taking control of the fight. Then came one of the most iconic moments in boxing history. Tyson landed a brutal combination that sent Berbick crashing to the canvas. The champion struggled to stand, his legs refusing to cooperate as he stumbled and fell again before the referee waved the fight over. At just 20 years and 4 months old, Mike Tyson became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, a record that still stands today. Overnight, he transformed from a rising prospect into the biggest name in boxing. The world had found its new champion. But winning the title was only the beginning. Tyson was about to enter the most dominant period of his entire career, where he would become the most feared fighter on the planet. Now you're watching the peak of Mike Tyson's career, the period when he wasn't just the heavyweight champion. He was the most feared athlete in the world. After defeating Trevor Berbick, Tyson had only one goal: to collect every major heavyweight title. And one by one, he did exactly that. He defeated James Smith to win the WBA title, then overcame Tony Tucker to claim the IBF belt, becoming the first heavyweight boxer to hold all 3 major world championships at the same time. Take a look at these photos and fight highlights. Notice the expressions on his opponents' faces before the opening bell. Many of them looked nervous long before the first punch was thrown. Tyson's reputation had become one of his greatest weapons. Some fighters admitted years later that they were already mentally defeated before the fight even began. What made Tyson so terrifying wasn't just his punching power, it was the complete package. His incredible speed, relentless pressure, precise head movement, and explosive combinations made him unlike any heavyweight the sport had ever seen. Every second inside the ring felt dangerous. During this period, many of his championship fights ended in just a few rounds. Fans bought tickets expecting excitement, but sometimes the fight was over before they had even settled into their seats. Tyson had become more than a boxer. He was a global phenomenon. By the late 1980s, it seemed impossible to imagine anyone defeating him. Experts called him unbeatable. Fans believed his reign would last for years, and every challenger entered the ring as the clear underdog. But in boxing, one night is enough to change everything. And soon, Mike Tyson would face the fight that shocked the entire world. Mike Tyson's story is proof that greatness is never as simple as it looks. He rose from one of the toughest neighborhoods in America to become the youngest heavyweight champion in history. He achieved fame, fortune, and success that millions of people can only dream about. But he also experienced devastating losses, painful mistakes, and some of the darkest moments a person can face. What makes Tyson's journey so unforgettable isn't just the championships or the knockouts. It's the fact that he never stopped fighting, not only inside the ring, but also against his own fears, anger, and the consequences of his choices. His life reminds us that talent alone is never enough. Discipline can build a champion, but the decisions we make outside the spotlight often determine how history remembers us. Today, Mike Tyson is no longer just a boxing legend. He is a symbol of both incredible success and the price that sometimes comes with it. Whether you admire him or criticize him, one thing is certain: his story changed boxing forever, and it will continue to inspire and fascinate people for generations. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.